What's up? What's up? What's up? This is Frank Everything Black. And I told y'all them Democrats are dead. Um, they just gave the Trump administration a big old blank check. They were supposed to been shutting the government down, but apparently they gave in. And I'm finna show you that the old ones and the new ones are divided. Um, man, they should have gave us our check. But these people are so concentrated on immigrants and LGBTQ that they are blind. You know, they they doubling down. They hadn't changed. They're not gonna change. And don't you expect no change on these people? They are out of control. They don't even know what they're doing. I mean, one Democrat do this, the other do that. So just check this out. Fair use YouTube, Facebook, MSNBC. I'm just reporting the news. This is entertainment only. Let me go back and get it. I'm gonna let you listen for yourself.
You probably heard a little bit of that conversation. Welcome, Congressman.
Thank you very much for having me.
Well, sir, let's just jump right in. Okay, there are people that, as soon as yesterday said, "Okay, Democrats, it's time to move on. You have to come together. This is a distraction." I am not one of those people, sir. I actually think that what we are seeing, Democrats, is what we are seeing some Democrats in the Senate. Very important, and the fight that you all are exhibiting is not just what the base wants, but it's what this moment requires.
Well, I think you're exactly right about that. You know, the plan of action that is beginning this week is one that's going to be, I think, very alive, very energetic.
Now you see this man right here. This is the Democrat brain. When they want something done, they go to this man. And then him and Nancy Pelosi, they talk about it. But this is the brainchild of the Democrats. This man has been working for 50 years on how to destroy the black community and give everybody else what they want and avoid what we want. And he'll be the first one to tell you, I stand up for reparation. Hell, I voted for HR 40, you know. HR 40 is a study. That's about all he did. But the rest of this 40 or 50 years of his being a senator, he's been promoting immigrants, the LGBTQ, and all the other things that don't associate with black people. This man makes sure you don't get nothing. Now, him and his family are straight, but the black family, the black community, the Foundation Black American, we're not straight, but his family is straight. If you go and look at his past, his daughter are getting good benefits from several corporations out there as a consultant to a major corporation. So yeah, his family is good. His grandchildren good. And he'll mention that. I want to make sure that our children and our grandchildren are good. But he's talking about his family. You're not talking about black Americans. Hell, if we was talking about reparation, hell, his ass would be talking about, I'm standing up for the study. You know, that's about as far as he gonna take it. Then you're gonna say we can't do it. So this man is Django. Uh, in that movie Django, let me say that. This is Steven. Now, they don't get no bigger than him. This is Steven. And if you saw in the Django movie, he don't give a damn about no black folk. And this is him. This man don't give a damn about no black folk. Now he'll be at the church and he'll stand up for the church. But the people in the church that he's so-called stand up for ain't gonna get none but some French for fish fry and green beans and entertainment, and then he gonna tell their ass go back out in the field and let me go to my mansion and serve my master. Because a man that's been in Congress for, I'm gonna say, over 40 years for sure, and nothing has been done for black people since this man was in charge. But this is who we vote for. This is the reason why black people in the position we in today, because this man is in charge to make sure that we stay where we're at. Now listen at this man. Um, this is a fight between the Senate and the House. I think the House stood their ground, but the Senate just gave everything away. And this dude, Hakeem Jeffries, was so-called blindsided, according to Mr. Claiborne here. You know, he had called all the Democrats together, and next thing you know, they voted a different way. Something happened in a 24-hour period. I'm going to let him explain it to you. But something happened between those Democrats in the Senate and the ones in the House. And nobody knows quite yet. But my job is just to report the news to you, to let you know that the Democrats are dead on arrival right now. Now, Trump has got to really drop the ball in order to get these people. They depended on him to fuck up some kind of way. You know? So, here we go. Fair use YouTube, Facebook, and MSNBC. This is for entertainment purposes only.
Oh, I've been talking to groups over the past weekend about energy. You know, energy is a great thing to have, but it must be harnessed. It must be targeted in order for it to be effective. Back in, we had a lot of energy to form. It was just being dissipated all over the place. So I think what I attempt to do now will bring into focus exactly what is going on here.
I want you to look at this sister back here and look at this. This guy here used to be the head of the Republican Party. The black brother here at the top. On my right hand side, maybe your left hand side, but if you're looking at it, he's on the right on the top of Mr. Claiborne. This is Mr. Steele. He's still a Republican, I believe, but he's talking the points of a. I don't know if he done switched to Democrat, but he said he's a Republican. But you'll see in the interview here, he's talking like he's a Republican, but he still think he's a strategy. Now these two guys was bumping head a while back. See, the Republican always got to get them a darkie, just like the Democrats got to get them a darkie to help their help their parties win. Right? Their minds are, they playing games with each other and they have to outthink one another. They don't really care about you and me. Each one of these parties just want to put money in their pocket. Now, see, she's this girl on the left here. is wanting to be in their position. She know that they dying off. As soon as she get her chance, she gonna try to go 10, 20 years. But I think her party uh, career is over because she helped Biden get a win, and then Biden all of a sudden put her under Kamala, and Kamala put her in a back room, and she ended up quitting, and she got her little show. Yeah. So that's that. I really don't know who this white lady is right down here at the bottom. I don't know who that is, but I'm pretty sure she'll say something stupid here in a minute. But here we go.
I'm not saying that what the end result coming out of the Senate is a bad thing. It's always a good thing to keep the government open. But sometimes the issue and the way you play the game, sometimes the way you play the game is more important than whether or not you win or lose. And I just think that what happened here was that people were disappointed in the process. And sometimes that can override the issue and the way you do something. It's like playing the game. Sometimes the way you play the game is more important than whether or not you win or lose.
Did y'all hear that? He said it's how you play the game. Yeah, I don't know who all play games, but he said it's more important than whether you win or lose. I don't know how many people play sports, but I never heard where you play a game and it's more important than whether you win or lose. Now I know he's gonna try to explain that, but to me that don't make sense. Why would you play a game to lose? Well, in my mind, you would play the game to lose to see what the other team gonna do while they winning. Now maybe he meant that. And then if you play the game to win, we got to see what you do when you win. Now, I think the American people have seen what the Democrats do when they win, and that's nothing for Black Americans. Now, if that's the game he's talking about, then I can get it now. If I stop, listen, and think what he just said, then I just figured out what he meant. So let's go on and see what type of game he's talking about here.
And I just think that what happened here was that people were disappointed in the process. And sometimes that can override, if not overrule, the end result as well. And that's the this afternoon. I'm celebrating the largest.
Um, I don't know what this stopped and but the speed, the Wi-Fi speed here is real slow in this hotel. But part of, I mean, they back then they was teaching plumbing, electrician, building, construction, transportation. It was teaching everybody in the church manhood, and then they did that for generations and built up Black America.
So I agree with you. It's an essential element, particularly in coordinating between the political arm, the DNC, in your case, the RNC, in my case.
Yeah, I just want to make sure that y'all understand that the AM church he says he's about to celebrate was a very important part of Black American history. It was some good done through the AME church, but after the 60s, I believe, all that went to hell. And if you follow Dr. King, he was talking about the church and how they behaved when dealing with racism. But anyway, that's another subject for another day. Let's get back in here.
And our legislative branches, the House and the Senate. What broke down in that process for you? Because it's very clear that drawn a very strong battle line. And I think it's one that was appreciated not just by Democrats. And I think it's a mistake. This is a lot of Republicans like me, a lot of independents out there, looked at this CR, already started the process of firing federal employees indiscriminately, breaking up agencies with impunity. This doesn't get better with this CR. So
See, all these agencies that the government got going on is a big waste of money. It's just a money grab, and the corporations are pumping that in just to get their agendas done. So a lot of this stuff is a waste. Okay, so the Republicans are through Trump is pretty. I'm gonna have to show y'all that video with this dude named Steve Bannon. He pretty much explains it, what they're doing, and who, and how Trump is working this game, like he said. Um, the conservative Republican Trump is not with them. He's with the populist Republicans. So conservatives, they call them the little punks on the Republican team, the gay ones, or they don't stand for nothing. They'll drop their draws for anybody. Okay, but the populists, they have an agenda. Uh, they gonna get it done by whatever means necessary. So that's the group in the Republican Party you got to watch. And Trump is getting his revenge, and all these black attorneys that they having, such as Jasmine Crockett, and all these people who are representing the Democrats, better watch their ass, because I think Fannie Mae just got served today that she got to pay, is ordered to pay for Trump case. So believe me, he is gonna roll. This man got 3 more years, 4 more years. He just got started. At least 3.5 left. So when this is all about white supremacy. When white supremacy get through using these black folks right here, they break them. On the Republican side and the Democrat side, they break them. According to Professor Black Truth, when white supremacy get through with their tools, they break them. And I totally agree. So here we go.
the Dems had drawn that bright line. What was the problem with the Senate that they couldn't understand the process?
No, I thought
Before you get to talking, this is a fight again between the House Democrats and in the Senate. The House Democrat and the Senate Democrats. They're at odds. And that's why I call this a house divided. It'll fall. Right? Now, Claiborne trying to keep them together. But right now, he don't know what's going on. Some stuff was done behind his back. See, they started not to trust each other. And the Republicans is having the same problem. Those conservatives and those populists are at odds. We ain't seen it yet, but it's gonna all come out. And then the Democrats, the House and the Senate, is at odds. See, all these people are evil because they don't mean to do us no good. If you go back and look at their history, they hadn't done anything toward black people, Foundation Black America. So both of them is basically evil. They dirty, they slimy.
Thought the Senate was on board. If you remember when the Leader Schumer announced that the votes were not there, I thought that this was the time for the whole country to focus on exactly who was where. When I saw the numbers, 22% of the American people said Trump was responsible. Around 31% said the Republicans were responsible. Add that up. I'm not good in math, but that's over 50% of the American people blaming the Republicans. Let's keep the focus on them for 24, 48 hours if need be, and let the country see exactly who is doing this and talk about these guardrails that were not there. Because what we're doing here, irrespective of what's in this bill, we've got an administration that's decided that they're going to do what they darn well please, irrespective of what anybody else says, including the courts. And so let's help the American people, help them focus on exactly who is doing what. And if we had done that for about 20.
See, like I say, this is the brainchild of the Democrat. This man is old. And he think he's focused. He think he's on top of things. But if he was on top of things, he would have known what happened in those 24 hours. What happened? You know, what caused them to be divided? That's what I want to know. If he knew and he was sharp as he say he was, he would have definitely know what happened in those 24 hours period that they had between voting. Because this Hakeem Jeffries called everybody together before the meeting and said, "This is what we're gonna do. This is the game plan." And when they got ready to vote, the Republicans had won, walked away with a win. So apparently, this brainchild is not up to par on what happened.
24, 48 hours, I think we'd be in the better place today. You know, Hakeem Jeffries did a great job bringing the House Democrats together. All but one voted to not give a blank check to this president. And then it goes to the Senate for the first 24 hours. They seem to be on board, and then all of a sudden, there's this change. What happened in the 24-hour period, I'm not sure. But nobody should be blaming Hakeem Jeffries for that. So when I say, you see people saying, well, we need new leadership. Jeffries played it by the rules. He played the game the way it ought to be played, and somehow he got blindsided.
Well, let's talk then about the elephant in the room. There has been reporting about mumbling within the caucus about the possibility, an appetite for primarying Senator Schumer. Are you hearing those same whispers? Do you think that is the conversation Democrats should be having right now?
I'm not saying that Democrats should be having that conversation, but I do know this, the Democrats or some Democrats are having that conversation. I've heard that before I left our retreat. As you know, the House Democrats were in retreat this past weekend, out in Lansdowne, Virginia. And yes, there's a lot of discussion going on there, especially when word got out that there was a big change in the 24 hours. We went into that convention solidly in support of what we had done, what we thought was the democratic way of going forward for the next several days. And then all of a sudden we started getting word that no.
Like I say, who is behind all this? Because he the brainchild. Nancy Pelosi is his partner. So you think, I mean, I thought they was partners. Maybe it's a backdoor deal between Nancy Pelosi and this Chuck Schumer guy. Somebody didn't let him know what was going on. Because he went to the retreat and the chatter was happening behind his back. He don't know what was going on. Why are they not telling Mr. Claiborne here? How did Jeffries get blindsided? These guys are supposed to be on top of the game, but somebody's undermining them. Who it is, I don't know yet. But I do know it have to be either Chuck Schumer or Nancy Pelosi. These are the big guns. And neither one of them told him nothing. Or he's acting like they didn't tell him nothing. What's the real deal here?
There's been a reverse of course here. And sure, that's disappointing a lot of people and a lot of discussions are going on. But I want people to keep focused on the real issue here. And that is bringing this democracy in full bloom for our children and grandchildren. This democracy is a threat. And everything we do, it should be focused on the fact that we are going to have to do the things that are necessary to preserve this democracy, to continue this trek toward a more perfect union. Our efforts. Right now, I'm not too sure that we're in that place.
Mr. Clyburn, before we let you go, yesterday the president invoked the Alien Enemies Act, which hasn't been invoked since World War II. It was the specific act that was used to intern Japanese Americans on American soil. On the backdrop of that happening,
My Wi-Fi is slow, y'all, so bear with me. It'll kick in. I think it'll kick in. It's real slow out here. I don't know why.
which hasn't been invoked since World War II. It was the specific act that was used to intern Japanese Americans on American soil. On the backdrop of that happening, administration has said he has not. He hasn't committed any crimes. And so the question on the table is, well, who is allowed free speech in America? It feels as though, what can be done about these things? Because it does seem that we are at a boiling point in this country, whether people feel it every day or not.
Well, I'm glad you mentioned that, because I think that we have to be very, very careful. You know, you talk about that act, it was used against Japanese and other Asians. And we see a Supreme Court that is, for some reason, I've been reading these cases coming out on board and these cases on immunity. And, you know, you go back and read the slaughterhouse cases, you read those cases. Language and spirit. And that's what has me really staying up at night, because this Supreme Court seems to be focused on times gone by. How do we?
All right. Now, he said that the Supreme Court is focusing on putting people back where they belong, whether that's getting rid of these Asians, maybe working on that. They're getting rid of all the immigrants. And you know, eventually they're going to come to us, you know, Foundation Black America. They're going to try to power themselves over us. But right now, he's can't sleep at night because what Trump finna do to the Asian. He can sleep at night by what the administration might do to black people, by what his party has done to black people. He can sleep at night. But for some reason, he can't sleep at night by what Trump might be finna do to the Asians or any immigrant. So he's up all night worried about immigrants, not black Americans who put him in power. You know, he don't care about them, but he'll give a fish fry to him. He'll have a famous singer or somebody, or entertainment or gospel singer, to fix them some chicken and greens. But other than that, he can't sleep at night because of what's going on with the Asians. You know, and how they pushing us back. He worried about the Supreme Court, which I think Trump got quite a few Federalist Republicans in that position to make those decisions on what he need to happen. You know, so this dude can't sleep at night because he worried about what's going to happen to them, not us. Not one of them care about what's going to happen to black people, Foundation Black Americans, or the descendants of slaves. He don't care about us. Just what might happen to these Asians. So y'all look at this and think about it when you vote for these people.
Give complete immunity to a president of the United States and think he's not going to use it time and time again, thinking he's going to get back to you and he's going to still have his decisions in his favor. That's what's going on here. I hope that these trial judges at the district level and these, hopefully all except maybe one or two of our circuit courts will hold the line, because the Supreme Court seems not to be willing to hold the line on these things and to continue our pursuit of a more perfect union. Using those old cases. You know, just think about it. They're using a case here that was designed for war. You saw what the Supreme Court did with that case, Shelby v. Holder. This says that since people are not being discriminated against now, we're going to get rid of those things that kept them from discriminating. And within 24 hours, those states that wanted to discriminate start passing new laws again. I don't understand what this reasoning is all about. You got to know, if you do that these people are going to take advantage of it if that's what their proclivities are. And so we are in a pretty bad place here, because this Supreme Court seems...
Well, the Democrat Party allowed all of this. They thought they was helping themselves with the immigrant situation and the LGBT situation when they could have been getting laws for Black Americans, foundation Black Americans, descendants of slaves. Instead of doing that, they worried about the immigrants. Now Trump now is using the same thing they used to get them here to get rid of them. And this could eventually come back later on and have us in a situation where we got to deal with these racists again. And we are dealing with them, each one of them. We're not uh, down with the Trump team, and we're not down with the Republican. We down with whoever gonna write the check. So y'all fight it out. Black Americans, sit back and watch, get your popcorn, and have your tools ready, because they're gonna be coming for us eventually. And we know that the Democrats always come for us first, and then everybody else. The Republicans always come for everybody else, then us. That's how that works. And see how they look like they so concerned. These folks don't give a shit.
To be hell bent on turning the clock back.
Turning the clock back. He talk like they finna do some racist stuff. But it ended right there. I appreciate y'all listening to me. Come back, join us. Everything Black is still in motion. I'm gonna keep pumping these out, giving y'all my opinion of what's happening. Like and subscribe. You know what I'm saying? We here, we watching, we keeping everybody abreast of what's going on. This is fresh off the press on the weekend. Happy Sunday to everybody. I hope everybody's blessed. And keep everything black. Love y'all. Take care.